All right, perfect. Hi, Lisa. How you
All
doing?
right. Hi, I'm well, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm good. So super excited to have you sort of share your story today. But before we do that, let's just talk a little bit about who you are and where people can learn more information about you.
Okay. Well, my name is Lisa Johnson, as you said. My business is Limitless Mental Performance, and it can be found at limitlessmentalperformance.com. I'm a mental training coach. I'm in the Milwaukee area of Wisconsin. And really, what I'm focusing on moving forward is working with young women who are really probably with a background in volleyball, who are looking to accelerate their game. And I want to help them unlock their potential to really empower them to be the great people that they already have inside of them. They just haven't really unlocked it yet.
Oh, I love your bio and your intro. You've been working hard at that. That's awesome. So
Thank you.
concise and to the point, and you've obviously chosen your niche well, and it's something that you're already doing great things in and are going to continue to. So I'm really excited today to talk about the entrepreneur program, and let's talk about sort of where you started when we started working together and where you are now. So start with kind of where you were when we first started talking about you joining the program.
Okay. So when I actually came across one of your posts on Facebook, I followed and joined the coaches group. And I joined because I thought this is something that I'm really passionate about, helping the volleyball players that I work with really take their game to a next level by teaching them not only the skills in the gym, but also just things that would transition into their real day. So essentially, I watched your videos and watched the information that you were sharing. I was doing one-on-one training for probably about the last 6 or 7 years with volleyball players, anywhere from middle school through high school. I've got a couple of college-age athletes. So just doing hourly training and feeling like I had something more that I could be doing, but I couldn't exactly put my finger on how to make a transition from just being a skills coach into coaching them to the point where I had like a real passion for feeling like there's more life skills that they can learn on the volleyball court. There's other skills that just help them to be better competitors. And I kind of wanted to pull that away from my skills training and do something more. And then it just so happened you introduced the Becoming a Mental Training Coach program. And I told my husband, this is something that I'm looking for. I need to explore it more.
Yeah.
So
And I
that's where
remember
I was when it
also,
started.
yeah, and I remember also with your like family responsibilities and really what you were charging, like you were really feeling a little bit burnt out, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So I had been a stay-at-home mom really for the better part of the last 8 years. And I'm a competitive person. So it was hard for me to leave my professional career and stay at home as much as I really want to do that. I want to be a part of my family's life and be there for my kids. So when the opportunity arose to do some one-on-one training for volleyball, I was like, this is a way for me to get out and spend time with athletes that I definitely will have a connection with.
Right.
But the hourly training, it can be really tiresome. It's physically tasking at times. And there's pretty much a rate that you can charge within the area. And then you're looking for gym rentals and all sorts of things that really kind of created challenges in that training area.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And where are you now?
So now I'm still doing some volleyball training, but after doing the Becoming a Mental Training course, I'm really excited. I've launched my website. I have taken big steps in terms of just being able to go out and talk to people about how passionate I am about mental training and the fact that it's a skill that the kids will take away from the volleyball court and will carry through their entire life. And that's so important to me. I feel like if you can affect a player, not just for one day or one portion of their life, but build skills that they can carry with them, it's a whole different realm than being a volleyball coach in that one-on-one such situation. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can see the changes in you from a confidence and really just like that, what we talk about, the mindset of an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can see it because I've seen you transform, but I mean, today you're off getting professional photos. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what are the shifts that you've made in that time from starting the program to now that, you know, maybe people closest to you see, but other people that just meet you are just like, oh, she's an entrepreneur. And, you know, talk a little bit about that sort of transformation, because I think that's been a big one for you, and it's a big one for a lot of people.
Definitely. I think, so throughout the course of the last 6+ months, even just talking to somebody or saying, this is what I'm thinking about doing, that's a really, you feel like you're putting yourself out there and you're taking a risk, because there are certainly people who know about mental training, but to somebody who you have to describe the whole arena to, they kind of look at you like, okay, back this up. And they didn't have a feel for it. So it was hard to even come out and share my story, you know, what I wanted to do. But then through the course of the 6 months, one of the tasks that I think was probably the biggest for me, and was probably my biggest turning point, was when you suggested that we reach out to former clients or people who knew us for testimonials, and to talk about the skills that we have and the impact that we've had on the athletes that we worked with. And, you know, asking somebody for something is challenging, because I'm probably more of a giver than, in my own mindset, than a taker. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask somebody to do something for me. They're going to have to take time. And what if they say no? What if they feel awkward about it?
Yeah.
But people overwhelmingly replied positively. And then also just supported me in saying, okay, when everything's all set to go, please make sure you share your website with us. Please let us know what we can do to help spread the word about what you're doing, because we saw the effects of you coaching our child and really mentoring them through different stages of their playing career into college and things like that. So just getting that feedback was a real turning point for me. I was like, okay, I felt that these things, you know, I was having these impacts on kids, but then to have somebody say it back to me was really validating. And then I just needed to work on telling myself more, okay, there are people out there that really have been impacted, and I can impact more people positively moving forward.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I remember when you first started getting those coming in too, and you're like, oh, I can do this. And it was just like so cool. And it's such a, it's such a shift to really believe that you're capable of having your own business and being a mental training coach. So now when people ask you what you do, what do you say?
I'm a mental training coach.
There you go. So what was your favorite part of the program? Like, what was the biggest benefit for you? If you could point to one that,
it's hard to pick one. I think they all intertwine so much. I think, you know, the mental training portion, learning from you, about the way that you worked with players and you work with your athletes, and seeing it from somebody else's perspective. That was huge. But then also the way that you helped us work through the highs and lows of coming into this new space of being an entrepreneur, because we had to apply, you know, what you might apply with your athletes to yourself, to be like, okay, I'm confident, I can do this. So the support that you provided us from that standpoint was huge. And then I think kind of the third thing that was really kind of tied things together for me was that when you provided some workbooks and things like that to talk about our sales and how to put our marketing plans together and kind of pull the technology into it, that we had a group of people going through the experience at the same time who could share their insights as well. So I felt like there was support of the community that we created as we were going through this training program.
Yeah, because the technology and the business stuff, I feel like for a lot of people it was so intimidating, and yet when you really break it down, it's not rocket science, right? I mean, everybody in the group was smart, and we can all figure things out. But I think that's a big barrier for a lot of people, because it feels so scary and overwhelming.
Absolutely. On that same note, when it felt like there was a time where it was like, okay, we have to get our websites up, we have to get photos done, we have to do all of these things, we had the 30-day challenge. And I feel like that was another part that, you know, I couldn't sort out in my mind what should happen and how to prioritize. And the 30-day challenge really prioritized for me. It was like, okay, I need to do these things, and this is the time frame that I have to work within, because there's a lot of ambiguity in how to prioritize your own time and meet your goals.
Yeah. Especially with kids and other responsibilities, and you were still trying to do a little bit of skill work. And yeah, that 30 days was intense, but people really banged stuff out during that time,
Yes.
which is really cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's talk about your decision-making process and even the investment, because there's a lot of people that are going to see this and they're going to want to join Mental Training Entrepreneur. And then they're going to be like, ooh, I don't know if I can invest the money. And I mean, and I get it. I've had coaches, and it's that scary part of it. And so talk me through sort of that decision-making process, like how you really decided and what your self-talk was and what were the barriers, and, talking to your husband and like all that went into it. Talk about that. And then I have a couple other follow-up questions on that.
Okay.
In that same vein.
So after I talked to you, so I submitted my video, and then we had a conversation. You shared with us. It was, doing the video was definitely, I told my friends about it, and they're like, oh my gosh, you submitted a video application. And they're like, well, that alone, we need to pat you on the back for, right? Yeah. Because it was putting myself out there. But then we talked about what the 6 months would look like, what the training would look like, and then the cost. And initially I thought, well, okay, I have a background in sales. I have a background, in all of these areas. I'm a smart girl. Let me go as a woman and go figure this out on my own. That was my first thing. I want to step back from it, and I'm not sure if I should be investing in this.
Yeah.
But then as my husband and I talked about it, we just talked about the opportunity to have somebody who's in the field to mentor me through the whole process. And the fact that if I didn't go forward with it now, what were the chances that I was going to circle back and move through the process at a later date? It was kind of like, you've been talking about this, you see the opportunity before you, and why would I wait any longer? Because I was kind of in this treadmill, just going, I'm training, I'm tired of it, in many ways. I'm like feeling burned out, and it's been my hope to move my life forward, and feel like I was kind of like getting off the sidelines. And I felt like this was a great opportunity for it.
Yeah. And what would you tell yourself now that you know what it's like and everything? What would you tell yourself, when you first decided in that process?
Absolutely. Like, even just like not to hesitate, because I feel like I grew as a person. I'm growing as a business person. And I made connections through this whole process that really make me feel confident that I can be a successful business person and put myself out there as a mental training coach. So I wouldn't change it.
Yeah. I'm like getting goosebumps. That's so cool. Okay. And what has, in this case, you were sort of both starting and scaling your business, right? Because you had a business, but it just wasn't what you wanted it to be. So what has that meant to you in your life, in your family, in your self-confidence? Just kind of, how have you changed or grown?
Well, I think just in terms of my own growth, it's knowing that what I offer is really valuable, right? You go and I could go and work with clients for a certain rate, the rate that I was charging previously. And there's something about charging a low price for the time that you commit. And it's not just the time that I would spend one-on-one in the gym. It's the time that I think about these athletes when we're not together, when I plan, when I think about their futures and how I want to impact them. So really what I was charging was like dwindled down to nothing. I could have been flipping burgers almost.
Right.
And actually taking a pricing package and moving it into something that's sustainable makes me feel more valuable, right? Because it's like, if you're not charging anything, what are you really saying about yourself too? Like, I don't really think that I'm offering anything worth much value, so this is what I should charge. But I do feel now that I have the skills to put together packages for clients that are going to be more suspendable. Sorry, that's coming out like really funny.
Well, so without giving us specific examples, we spent so much time on marketing and sales, but like, what's the increase? Is it 2 times or 3 times or 4 times roughly what were you were charging before as we went through that sales process and we spent a lot of time on pricing. So what's
absolutely
on what you're charging now versus what you were charging before? Roughly.
Okay, so I would say that it's almost 7 times higher.
Yeah.
And that would just be like my hands-on time for my training clients. So I think that too, as I become more skilled in this and am more accustomed to what the whole process really looks like as I kind of tailor my skills, that the equation will become bigger.
Yeah. And how does that feel as far as, I mean, we talked about this in the very beginning, but so much of that was like, you were feeling so like, you're obviously so, and so many of the coaches that I get to work with, so many of the students in these coaches are so committed to the people that they're going to work with, like that's something all of us are so proud of, right?
Right.
That you were going to give so much, but you were feeling like it was too much, right? And that you had the gym time and then you have your own kids and you were away at night. And so like now, what does that feel like as far as your price? I mean, we can just break it down. Like as far as your pricing, what does that feel like for you from a life and family and like you said, value standpoint for you as an entrepreneur?
It makes it feel like it's more worthwhile, right? I mean, if I'm going to spend time away from my family, I'm going to make it value added for myself, my family, and then the person that I'm working with. And, I don't have the guilt. It's one big thing. I would continually ask my kids, how does it feel when I'm away? Do you want, are you feeling like you're maybe second to the kids that I coach? Because I would come home and talk about them and all of those things. And they've encouraged me as well through this too. Mom, this is important to you. And that's a huge, like feather in my cap that they're like, you know what, you're really good at working with these girls. And if you wouldn't continue and if you wouldn't move forward, you would miss it. And we wouldn't want that for you.
So
that's
sweet.
Like a huge, they see it. They feel loved through the process and know that if I'm giving the best of myself in other areas, I can come home and be a better person at home too.
Yeah. Cool. Any final thoughts for someone that's, trying to make the decision and figuring out if they should move forward with this program?
I mean, I think it like always goes back to your gut, first, like, I feel like I saw that video and it spoke to me. Like you were introducing this program and offering up, just opening your books to us and showing us what this whole process looked like. And the second I saw it, I'm like, this is me. This is exactly what I should be doing. And, it's the hesitation was a little bit of the fear creeping in. Well, what if I put myself out there and I'm not successful? Which everyone has that, right? But it was the initial gut reaction. Like, it's a good fit, if you're ready. And, I think just going for it at that point, if you've had that feeling, you just have to move forward. There's really
So cool. Oh, I'm so excited to continue to watch your success, and humbly, I feel so honored to have been part of your journey, and obviously we'll continue to be a part of it, and support you. And I'm excited to see your photos.
Yes.
And tell everybody your website again in case they want to learn more about you.
LimitlessMentalPerformance.com.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Thanks so much, Lisa. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Okay. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.